They keep coming like a moth to a flame. Oh, some things never change, never change. You'll break your back to make me feel again. Suffocate to make me breathe again. Lose your mind from endless pain. Some things never change, never change. Oh, redemption.
Right then, lads, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. We are back again. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, parts of the world. We are back again with another Arsenal update. Early this morning, we're going to be discussing very important and very strong stories. Richarlison linked with Arsenal. Could Arsenal get finally one of the best wingers there in world football at the moment? Richalison from Everton, Brazilian winger, but really, really good. And of course, Arsenal are missing out on another big talent, Karim Adeyemi. Of course, reports saying that he will be joining Borussia Dortmund. There is a 5 million gap between Dortmund and Salzburg, but that could not be the reason. That's why he doesn't sign for Dortmund. But of course, for me, I thought Arsenal should have gone for Karim Adeyemi, but of course, Dortmund will be taking him. We'll try to dive into that. Sport Media Set have just confirmed that Arsenal will not give up on Dusan Vlahovic. We will not give up. We have actually raised our offer and placed it on the table for Fiorentina, according to Sport Media Set via the Sport Witness. We'll be diving into that. It is 80 million euros, and we are now convincing the player. We are telling him that the project we have is actually going to mature very soon, and the project we have is actually suitable for his future, for his career, and everything that he ever desires as a footballer and in a footballing career. We will try to see what Arsenal trying to tell Dusan Vlahovic, in there, and obviously, do we want Joao Felix? Do we want to sign Joao Felix? Again, Atletico Madrid are saying that they want 127 million. They are not letting go of Joao Felix if they're not getting 127 million. What is the latest around Yuri Alberto as a new striker? And could we sell Aubameyang, Lacazette, and Eddie Nketiah all in one window to get in a new striking force? All that and more in this video. Of course, guys, yesterday we hit 266 likes on the first video. That was really amazing. Actually, in total yesterday, on all the videos, we had 400 likes. Of course, our target is that by the end of the day, we should have 1,000 likes across all the videos that we do on this channel. 1,000 likes across all the videos. So make sure, guys, you're smashing it. Yesterday, we did smash it on the video. 266 likes. I was really amazed. I was really, really amazed. Of course, guys, let's get this one to 250 likes. Let's get it there. 250 likes. I'll be very, very grateful if we can actually do that. But before we get into that, let's get into the stories. Let us start off with Sport Media Set and Dusan Vlahovic, the update that is really entertaining, the update that's really, really interesting for any Arsenal fan at the moment. What have Sport Media Set said, and what does it mean for the future of Nketiah, Lacazette, and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang? Now, they are saying there at Sport Media Set that Arsenal want to convince the player in himself, Dusan Vlahovic, to accept the project at the Emirates Stadium as early as January. And they won't give up. That is what is interesting. They won't give up. Underline that. They won't give up. And they are saying they even have an offer of close to 80 million euros ready to sign Dusan Vlahovic. And the offer is actually higher than the last one they placed on the table for Fiorentina. Now, that is according to Sport Media Set via the Sport Witness. They are strong. They are very, very strong. They are saying that they know Arsenal are actually not giving up on Dusan Vlahovic. And I think this is one this is one kick in the stomach to reports from Goal.com and reports from the Football in London, who are actually saying that Arsenal do not have interest. There is no interest in Dusan Vlahovic. Of course, like I said, Fabrizio Romano did come out earlier. He was the first journalist who came out and said, no, there is big interest. There is a lot of interest from Arsenal in Dusan Vlahovic. They would love to take him there at the Emirates Stadium, and they will try to do whatever they can to get him. Big up to Gianluca Di Marzio, the first ever journalist who broke the story that Arsenal had an initial offer taken to Fiorentina, and obviously the player not picking up our calls is also another interesting angle that we will try to discover and of course explore in this video. But what I'm gonna say about this one is the fact that we will not give up. That is what is interesting in this story. The rest of it is actually deja vu. The rest of it is normal. We have heard of it. Arsenal really trying to do this and this on players. But what I've heard is that we won't give up. We won't give up on Dusan Vlahovic. Yes, the player is not, and of course, I wanna say the player has never rejected Arsenal. Vlahovic has never said no to Arsenal, and the agents are not saying no to Arsenal. At the moment, they do not believe in the project. We need to convince them. We need to win them over. We need to bring them on our side. That is the problem. It is not that they are not interested in Arsenal. They do not have a problem with Arsenal because, again, Fiorentina, if you're playing for Fiorentina and you're going to Arsenal, you're making a huge step. You're making a huge jump from the Italian Serie A, again, a club that is not even competing for the title in the Italian Serie A, to a club that has a very big future and of course a very big history in England, and that is Arsenal Football Club. Because you're coming to Italy, coming to London, one of the biggest cities there in the world. You're playing for one of the biggest clubs in the world. That is Arsenal Football Club. I'm telling you, there is no way Vlahovic doesn't want to play for Arsenal. I think if there is anything, it is the project. And of course, we've heard of these stories from Fabrizio Romano right from last summer. We wanted to get Lautaro Martinez, but Lautaro did not believe in the project. Lautaro Martinez did not want to be part of our project because he thought the project is going to take long. And that is the problem with such projects, is that it is hard to, for you to sell them to players that have big talents, that have very, very big ambitions. Of course, it is so hard. But of course, Dusan Vlahovic, Arsenal are not giving up. That is really, really confirmed by the sport media set via the sport witness, and they're also saying that an 80 million euro offer is already ready on the table for Fiorentina. Of course, Fiorentina should be helping us in this one. They should help us convince the player, because who is going to give you 80 million euros in Dusan Vlahovic? Honestly, United, yes they can, but I don't see them do that. The same as City, I don't see them get 80 million euros and spend it on Dusan Vlahovic. I think Fiorentina, deep down, they know that this is the opportunity to get such big money. They have to help us get the player. But of course, guys, I'm going to say, if the player really is disinterested in Arsenal, we shouldn't force it. We shouldn't actually force him. If a player doesn't want to be playing for us, then we should actually let them go. But for me, if it is about the project, if it is about the player accepting the project, then we have to do enough. Because it is not enough at the moment. If we were in the top 4, if we're in the top 3 at the moment, it would be easy. But look at us. We are crumbling in 7th. We are actually fighting, for our lives there. And that is the big problem. If you're fighting for your life on the table, it's always hard for you to sell that project to new entrants, to new prospects, to new talents. It's very, very hard. But of course, Arsenal there, being very serious about Dusan Vlahovic, and they're saying they will not give up. Really interesting. They will not give up. But because I want to discuss with you guys a couple of stories from the transfer checker and the transfer zone today that have actually come out a couple of hours ago. One, they are confirming that Arsenal are open to offers for Edin Ketia, Alexander Lacazette, and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. New contract for Edin Ketia was rejected, and of course offered but rejected. And they're saying Arsenal are looking at freshening up the strike force, and that is the club's biggest priority at the moment. But it might wait. It might wait until the summer if the right deals do not actually come by in the January transfer window. Now, what I'm gonna say about these guys is that it is true and very interesting. One interesting thing is that we want to get rid of all these deadwood. We want to get rid of Alexander Lacazette. We want to get rid of Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang and Edin Ketia all at once. Yes, that could be detrimental a little bit, but I do not care. These guys are finished. These guys are costing the club. We just need new energy. We just need new players. Of course, Lacazette's contract running down in the summer. Eddie Nketiah's contract running down in the summer. And Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang in the summer will have 1 year left on his contract. Get him out, get him out, get him out. Of course, according to the transfer checker, they're saying now Arsenal have made the striker, hunt their big priority. It is now a problem. We are looking at it there in January. Yuri Alberto linked with Arsenal. Richarlison linked with Arsenal. We'll try to get into that. But of course, at the moment, Arsenal will try to get rid of Lacazette, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, and Eddie Nketiah. Do you think, guys, we should let go of these three and bring in at least 2 quality players or 3 quality players that we can trust there at that moment? And of course, according to the transfer checker still, they're saying that Arsenal hold interest in Denis Zakaria and Frank Cossy and could make an ambitious loan move for Jorginho Wijnaldum. Central midfield is also a key area for improvement. Club is very, very impressed with Dusan Vlahovic so far, but the need to get an accomplished player, an experienced player, is also not overlooked at the club at the moment. One thing I'm gonna say, guys, about about this is that I think we all agree. We want another experienced midfielder. We want a central midfielder. We want a box-to-box. We want someone with a flair. We want someone who knows what he does. Dusan Vlahovic is a very, very good player. And for me, in the end, I can see Lokonga, Partey, and a new midfielder playing in that midfield 3. I don't see how Dusan Vlahovic will ever get dropped at Arsenal unless the manager has a problem. I don't see it. So, according to Arsenal, according to the transfer checker, Arsenal are looking out on Denis Zakaria and Frank Cossy. And of course, in the January transfer window, they could go for a Jorginho Wijnaldum loan deal there to try to bolster our midfield options, because our midfield at the moment is a shambles. Everybody knows that. It's a shambles, it's a shambles, it's a shambles. We just need to make it better. We need improvements. We need a lot of improvements if Arsenal is actually going to do anything in this season and also in the coming years. Of course, in terms of strikers being linked with Arsenal, at the moment, it is Richarlison. Of course, I'm going to say forwards. I'm not even going to say strikers, but forwards. Now, according to the transfer zone, they are saying Arsenal are pondering a move for Everton striker Richarlison as Mikel Arteta plans for the future without Alexander Lacazette and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Of course, guys, Richarlison, another interesting forward. Make sure you smash a like on the video, people. Pause right there. Smash a like on the video. Let's get them to 200 likes right about now. Thank you for watching the video. So, Richarlison linked with Arsenal, guys. What I'm going to say about Richarlison is he's one of those brand of players that we do not have in the side. You look at Saka, you look at Smith Rowe, they are not goal-scoring wingers. They don't give you goals. Of course, Pepe last season was trying to do that. By the end of the season, he had double figures in the Premier League, and all of us thought maybe Pepe is going to be that kind of winger that provides more goals, that kind of winger that actually drifts inside, shoots small, gets the chances, gets the one-on-ones. But for me, Pepe has absolutely failed at that. He's actually failed at being the player we expect him to be at Arsenal. Now, according to reports that Richarlison is wanted at Arsenal, I want to believe these stories. I want to say yes, but of course, I'm going to be very, very skeptical. Can Everton sell Richarlison? That's also a very, very big, big question and big point. Brazilian forward, really interesting. If you have, if you have Richarlison and Saka, I think you have one of the best forwards there, forward lines there in the Premier League. And of course, you could have, you could just have another good striker, probably Calvert-Lewin, probably Dusan Vlahovic. Any striker would do if Arsenal got a player like, Richarlison. Of course, one of the things that I love about Richarlison is his goal-scoring ability. You saw it against Everton when we played them in the last game. He really scored many goals against us. He really had, a lot of enthusiasm in front of goal. The concentration, the ability to tap those balls away. All the time he got the chance, he scored it. He actually scored 3 chances in that game against us. The header, which was disallowed by VAR, the second header, which was actually allowed, and of course the one-on-one with Ramsdale that he actually scored in a very, very difficult tight angle. That shows you the ability that the Brazilian player has there. And of course, we do not have that brand of player. We don't have that player that can actually do something different. We don't have that kind of player that can actually bring his own style there at Arsenal, and of course just decide games when they cannot be decided by by the rest of the team. So Richarlison, would you take him? Would you not take him? Big question. Can we actually get him? Maybe 50, maybe 60 million euros. But what I'm gonna say is, instead of getting Dominic Calvert-Lewin from Everton, I would rather go for Richarlison, because I think he is a better player than Dominic Lewin. Of course, the big men there at Football.London are also saying that Arsenal are still eyeing Yuri Alberto. We are looking at Yuri Alberto, and he could be Arsenal's next Brazilian star. Of course, we've been linked with Yuri Alberto. I've already reported about Yuri Alberto in the last 48 hours. We want him. We are interested. We want to take him there at the Emirates Stadium. So it's going to be very hard, for Arsenal to deal with Brazilians and things like that, because their players do have third parties and things like that. And I think it really, really makes it very, very difficult to sign them. But Yuri Alberto, again, another impressive striker. Another impressive striker. He has scored 22 goals in 55 appearances. Arsenal want him. Of course, it could be the Edu connection. Edu is Brazilian, of course, and that's why we are being linked with very, very many Brazilian players. Richarlison, Brazilian. Yuri Alberto, Brazilian. Of course, a couple of other Brazilian players. But look, I think the 15 million, if Arsenal want to get him, then the 15 million pounds will not be a problem to get in Yuri Alberto. At the moment, I can confirm that Arsenal are really interested in Yuri Alberto, and he could be one of the new strikers that come in to replace Aubameyang and Lacazette at the end of the season. Now, speaking about players that we have missed and players that I would love to join Arsenal, Karim Adeyemi. Finally, Arsenal have blown it. Karim Adeyemi is going to Borussia Dortmund. Now, if you've not been watching Red Bull Salzburg in the Champions League, please go to Google or YouTube and type in Karim Adeyemi. You will understand what I mean when I say that Arsenal have missed a big talent in terms of Karim Adeyemi. Because today, from Bild.com, from Bild, the biggest reporting, the biggest sports outlet in Germany, they have said Karim Adeyemi, who was previously linked with Barcelona and Real Madrid, has decided to join Dortmund. Only an agreement with Red Bull Salzburg is missing, as there is a €5 million difference in the asking price of the player. Now, of course, guys, I'm really not happy about this. Of course, we have to move on. Life has to move on, but I'm not really happy with this. I thought Arsenal could have done a little bit better than that. We should have done a little bit better. We should have fought more. We should have got there. Vote for Karim Adeyemi. We are looking for young talents. We are looking for young, good players. Why can't we fight for these players? The likes of Karim Adeyemi, with the likes of Pedri. Why don't we try to fight for them? Why do we always go for the players that are really crap? Karim Adeyemi could have been, for me, one of the best young talents in the Premier League if we got him. Now, Dortmund are going to take him, and you're going to see in the next 2-3 years, he's going to be £100 million. He's going to cost £100 million. What is actually, hurting for me is that Adeyemi would cost less than €40 million, and for me, bringing Adeyemi to replace Alexander Lacazette, and then bringing a striker, an accomplished striker, to replace Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, I would be definitely happy with that. But of course, Karim Adeyemi will be going to Borussia Dortmund, a really big blow for Arsenal, and a very big blow for me as a person. I really loved Karim Adeyemi. I thought Arsenal would actually try to get Karim Adeyemi, but obviously, always disappointing me as an Arsenal fan. They have disappointed me yet again. And of course, the last story we will discuss in this video, guys, is about Joao Felix. Reports saying that from the AS, saying that Manchester United, Liverpool, Arsenal and Newcastle have all inquired about the availability of Joao Felix, but Atletico Madrid will not sell the player unless there is £127 million on the table. That is all I can say about this deal. Guys, I don't see Arsenal paying £127 million for a player who has actually even failed to impress at his parent club at the moment. Yes, he's a good talent, he's a big talent. Joao Felix, maybe, if we're going to sign him before he went to Atletico Madrid, maybe there. But at the moment, I don't see really Arsenal really get interested in signing the man himself there, Joao Felix. Hit the like button, let's get it 200 likes, and I'll speak to you in the next one.
Some things never change, never change. Oh, they say I should feel guilty and change my ways, leaving crumpled bodies in my wakes where I didn't mean to make them break. But they're so delicate and so mundane, and they keep coming like a moth to a flame. Oh, some things never change, never change.